Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
No, you don't get the 96-ounce Coke Zeros.
Blabs.
Yo, my androids, what's up?
And straight from the hood, Phoenix.
It's really enjoyable as an adult male to shit your pants.
And now, broadcasting from our homes around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
What is up, my G's? Oh boy. I'm seeing Blabs already holding her forehead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Side Scrollers. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Phoenix. As per usual, we have Blabs, if she can bring herself in.
Oh no, I'm so
Oh no,
sorry.
there she is. There she is.
I forgot to hit the solo layout for you. Anyway, hi everybody.
We're doing
five
good.
things,
You're
five
doing
things at
great,
once.
kiddo. Yeah, no. So, guys, Blabs has been like an absolute rock star.
No.
She has been. We got word this morning. Craig said he was clickety clacking in his little computer, and he DM'd us, and he said, "Phoenix and Blabs, guess what? I'm not coming to the show today."
Because he's been too busy throwing up.
Yes, he's been throwing up, which I have plenty of experience with. And he said, good news, Phoenix, you're the host today. Have you ever used StreamYard? Have you ever hosted this show before? No. So I made the perfect host. And so Blabs has been a wonderful, wonderful help in doing literally everything for me, okay? So without her, this would really be a train wreck. Blabs, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I had a million things lined up to do today. And then Craig was like, how about no? And just, you know, like a cat when they jump on furniture and just swipe everything off the table?
Yes.
That was Craig's DMs.
Yeah.
So all that has just gone out the window, and I've been doing everything else instead. So hello, thanks, Craig. Anyway, I hope you feel better.
We do hope you feel better.
No, seriously, do get well so I don't do
yes.
that again. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really it. We just want to not have to do this again tomorrow.
That's right.
Anyway, we've got a fantastic show today where we have wonderful guests today and wonderful topics. Let's bring in Lady Decade. Lady Decade, how are you doing?
Hi.
I'm all good. I'm all good.
She's
Lady.
got tea today, by the way.
Yes. What are you drinking today, lady?
I'm drinking Lemsip because I too am poorly.
Yes, I just want to point out, Lady Decade came in. She's like, I'm a bit unwell today. And I was like, oh, but you showed up today.
Wouldn't it have been so great if, like, Blabs, you were sick and then all the guests were sick and I had to be the host and the guests? I'd have like a little puppet and it would be very awkward.
Yes,
Watch
you
all
could
the
just do
subs
the puppets.
plummet. Yes, exactly. Lady, well, listen, is everyone by you sick? Because over here, everyone that we know has been sick. Is that going around by you?
Yeah, there's been something going around for months actually. Like this horrible flu that has been hitting a lot of people for like 2 whole weeks to the point that people can like barely move. Like really horrible.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a new strain. I know like rhinovirus is going around, norovirus, like everything. I got hit with norovirus,
All the
which I won't have to, I won't explain that one again. But hopefully you feel better. Let's bring in our next guest, who, by the way, this is interesting. Pickle, how you doing, Pickle?
Good morning.
She's also sick, but still
Oh my
showed
God.
up.
I mean, I'm
what a
like,
rock star.
it's not that bad. I also haven't spoken yet today.
It's not that bad.
It's morning voice pickle arrived today. So
You're doing a great job. You sound fantastic.
She's going to do an ASMR channel next.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Now, what's interesting is we've got Pickle here, which is an interesting segue, and I am the master of segues because today, ladies and gentlemen, Pickle, along with Kirsha and Leaflet and our very own Blabs, will be in Mount Your Friends at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully you will join us over there on Plus, Rumble, Premium, Blabs. Anywhere else, or are those the two, right?
It's just those two. Plus
so I
and
nailed
Rumble
it.
Premium. You
I
did. Look at you,
wanna-
number one host. Goodbye, Craig.
Thank you. Watch. I'm looking at the monitor and I'm only seeing the subscriptions just going through the roof. Absolutely. Viewership, everything's going skyrocketing. Listen, we've got a lot of fun topics today. But before we do that, let's get to a little bit of something I like to call.
No, not yet. Because.
Oh.
Don't worry, I got this. Okay.
Promo
guys,
code Mount.
Yes, thank you. So today, guys, as Phoenix was saying, we have the live show. But in order to be there, you need to be a member of either Plus or Rumble Premium. So use promo code MOUNT, MOUNT, for a free month of Plus, and that way you'll be able to watch the show. Hence, starring me and pink-haired Pickle over there.
Blabs,
Otherwise, you can't be there.
I really wish you had just let me hang there for as long as possible. I'm waiting for this button to be pressed, and we're not going anywhere.
I was like, wait, you forgot the promo code. Okay, anyway.
Mount.
Now, what is it that you want to do?
I would love to go to gaming history. Can we hit that?
Yeah, all right.
Today in gaming history with Blabs.
Olive Garden can suck my tits.
Sure can.
True.
It sure can.
That's
so
right.
what games did you pick today, Blabs?
All right, everyone's going to re or whatnot, but I don't care. Cool Borders was released in 1997. You have Quest, Brian's Journey. Now, if Craig was here, he would say Brain's Journey because he mixes up Brian and Brain quite often. But no, it's Brian's Journey. And then the game that everyone forgot about, but it's already 2 years old, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, released by Ubisoft. Ta-da!
Very, very interesting. Those two games on there are Cool Borders and the last one there, actually, and Prince of Persia. Those are actually not too bad. Have anyone here played any of those games? Pickle, Decade?
Cool Borders on a demo disc.
Oh,
Yeah, back in the day, the old demo discs. I miss those days of having the demo discs and stuff like that. It made gaming kind of fun. It was always like getting when you go to the movies and you see the sneak previews. That was it for us, and that was the only way that you could actually see these games because online wasn't really much of a thing. So you got these demo discs. What did you think of Cool Borders, lady?
God, I'm trying to work out whether I've got it because I've got a few hundred PS1 games up there. But
that's okay. We'll wait. We'll just let you go through it. And...
We'll see.
Let me just one at a time. They're not in alphabetical order. I do remember playing it over and over on the demo disc, but that was God, I was 8 years old in 1997, so...
Ages ago, yes.
Yeah. I don't remember liking it enough to ask someone to buy it for me.
Yeah.
But then I was always bought odd games anyway.
Yeah. I think it was a big to-do, if I remember right. But we've got a whole other list of games, Blabs, that you may have missed. Let's see what we have here. So
I didn't miss shit.
Okay. So I can't wait to pronounce this first one. There's Magic of Zadadi. A great
I think it's
game.
Scheherazade.
You got me, Blabs. Thank you so much. Willie and Wright, no rock board. That's paradise. Arkanoid, do it again. All right, you did Cool Boards. Now, WCW Nitro. Blabs, step me through this. It's only once in a while that you'll hit a wrestling game. What was the reason today for not hitting that?
Because I liked Cool Borders because it just reminded me of Cool Runnings instead, and so
That's
I put
it.
that in.
Can I just say, I kind of was thinking that it was because of Cool Runnings, that just the word cool was in there.
That's
okay.
it. That's the
All
only
right.
reason.
Now, Quest, Brian's Journey, chat, maybe you can help me out here. I actually think that might be a sequel to Quest 64, the only RPG on the Nintendo 64. That's kind of an interesting game. I wonder how much that's worth. All right, Carnivore's Ice Age, Mobile Suit Gundam.
You probably wondered why I didn't do Carnivore's Ice Age, because technically speaking, that's like dinosaurs. And the reason is, I just forgot. That's it.
Okay, that's good to know. A+ for effort. Appreciate
Thank
that. We've also got Amazing Island, WarioWare. Okay, chat, you hear panel, please. WarioWare Smooth Moves. Blabs, have you ever played a WarioWare game?
I've never played a Wario game.
Good Lord in heaven. Decade Pickle, can you please educate her if you've played this?
It's like lots and lots of mini games, very fast mini games that you have to do them in time,
And it's not shovelware?
They're hilarious. They're very Japanese, very funny.
A bit
WarioWare games are
chaotic.
amazing.
Yeah.
Blabs. It's rapid fire shovelware games, like rapid fire. Like it'll just be.
I will attempt to play them one day.
I think you'd like it. Next time I see you, we're going to play that. I would have put this one on the list, but let's keep going. Let's see what else we've got here. Okay. Corpse Party, Book of Shadows.
How can you miss Shin Megami Tensei Devil
How could
Survivor?
you
He's
miss-
just going straight past that one.
Whoops. Okay. So actually, I'm going to get the heat instead of Blabs for not putting it on the list. Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Survivor. Blabs, you son of a bitch. I would have put this number one on the list. This is my favorite game, and I've totally heard of it, and I love this game. Decade, why is this a great game? Why should it have been on the list?
Put it this way. The Shin Megami Tensei games are like the precursor to the Persona games.
Yep. Oh, right.
And
Okay. Mm-hmm.
They're brilliant. You've got some really
Chef's kiss.
iconic characters have come from that. So, like, for example, Virtual Boy game Jack Bros.
I do.
Those characters come from the Shin Megami Tensei series.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, and I have that on the Virtual Boy. Virtual Boy, by the way, one of my favorite consoles ever. I am part of the small club of one that enjoys the Virtual Boy. Shin
Like that
Megami-
small. I've got one. I bought one in America and I brought it back here. I like it. It's a
Decade.
bit like neck achy.
I love you.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you really enjoy the super uncomfortableness.
It is worth the permanent retinal damage that one gets from Virtual. It's worth it, Blabs. It is worth it.
I
It's so
personally,
good.
I can't get on with the 3D, so I don't have it. I do
you
find
take
it a
the
little.
3D off.
Yeah,
So
I
you
know.
use the Virtual Boy. You're committing to the retinal damage, but turn off the 3D in it, defeating
Yeah.
the whole purpose.
But
What a
this
rock
table that
star.
I'm sat on, it's one of those electric tables, so
Yeah.
it's not too bad for me because I can just set the table to the correct height.
That's smart.
That I love the anarchy in you for using a Virtual Boy and removing the whole virtual aspect of it. God bless
It makes
you.
me feel sick,
boy.
though. It makes me feel sick, so I don't like it.
All right, we've also got, and this is, Blabs, this is a biggie. DMC Devil May Cry. That is a
Oh, did you
big
hear
one.
Pickle just go, eh?
No, I said yeah, because I'm seeing there's
I'm
like
oh,
no,
she died inside.
no, well, I mean maybe a little bit because I feel like there's some bangers here that weren't recognized.
Pickle, please, what here is frustrating? What is making you want to be even more sick than you already
Well,
are?
I mean it's between Shin Megami Tensei and
yeah.
Corpse Party because they both have little pockets in my heart that are dedicated to them.
What is Corpse? So I've never heard of Corpse Party. What is that? What's that game?
It's
Pixel horror.
yeah, it's pixel horror. It's like you play as like a bunch of kids and you do this ritual that like oh god, it's been like 15 years since I played it.
It's got an amazing quote, butter my booty.
Yeah.
Do you
This
remember
just
that?
became my favorite game. Yes.
Yeah, it like you do this ritual and you end up like falling through the floor and then there's a bunch of like ghosts and demons and stuff. You have to it's like what's it called when you have to like traverse through it's not a platform. No, it's like
It's
it is
almost it's like
horror,
a
You can
it's
lie.
like a
just
top
make it up.
it's like a top-down perspective, kind of like
yeah,
A Link to the Past.
yeah, like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I'll have to check that out. And what are your feelings on Devil May Cry? Because that is a really big one. She
a
put
classic.
Brian's Quest as opposed to DMC. What are your
Hell
thoughts
yeah,
on
I
that?
I don't like that one. That's the wrong Dante.
It is.
That's not
Yeah.
sexy Dante. That's
True.
twink Dante.
Yeah. This was the one that didn't even do so well, right? It was like a reboot of sorts, correct?
Yeah.
And a reboot
Yeah.
in the wrong way.
Yeah.
All right, so Blabs, maybe you saved yourself. All right, let's go through. Let's finish this list up. We've got a lot of topics. Oh, Box Boy, I pretty much remember that being pretty good. My Time at Porsche, the Grand Tour game, Arc Knights, we did Blades, I'm sorry, Prince of Persia, Blade of Chimera, Sanguis Luna, Anime Feet Boys, the Charm Finder quest, and Anime Feet Girls, the Charm Finder quest. Blabs, you have tons of experience with this game.
No, it was released today.
Yeah, no, but it's similar. Weren't you? You had played the Anime Farm Boys.
I played the game called Turn Your Farm Animals into Anime Girls, and then there was another version of Anime Boys, and it's horrific. It's terrible. It's the worst gameplay ever. It's basically like you just like press a bunch of buttons and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's the worst gameplay ever. And it was $16 each from the Nintendo store. I don't recommend it. So I don't recommend this stuff because it's going to be absolutely horrific and probably really broken as well.
Shocking to all of us. We really thought those were going to be some bangers.
Yeah,
Broken
I like
Lore.
that. I like that you grilled Blabs on it, but not the VTuber.
Yeah, that's right.
I've got to say, though, it was going through my mind what your feet look like, Pickle.
Whoa! Crazy. You sound like...
Not in the same way that you would wonder what Sonic's feet look like, but...
I'm curious.
Everything's fine.
All right, Sonic's feet. Okay, thank you.
All right, let's finish up the list. All right. Broken Lore unfollow, much like what the community is doing right now in rapid succession. Death Forest remake, The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon. Okay, chat, we're looking for a letter grade here for how Blabs did. I would personally say Brian's quest probably didn't need to be on here.
Well, if it was Craig, he would keep saying it's Brain's quest. So maybe, just maybe, it was for that. But then Craig ruined it by being dead.
That is true. That is absolutely true. All right.
I'm getting a lot of D's in chat. This is most unfortunate. I think it's at least a B.
Yeah, well, the cool borders I would have kept on there. What was your last choice again?
Right. So I had
Prince of Persia, which
revolutionary
honestly,
for a failure.
I've heard really good things about this, that it was kind of a good return to form. So I don't know much about it, but I have heard good things. Now, the Brian's Quest thing, that's in debate. Yeah, well, there we go. We have Blabs. All right. So, Blabs, should we get to some supers or should we jump into some quick hits? What are you feeling?
We're gonna hit up some supers if you want to hit up some supers.
Okay.
Otherwise, I can do that.
I would love to. We're going to test to see if I can press buttons. Here we go. Aramis for 10. I'm aware you don't like taking the reins, but you'll do great, Blabs. Well, whoops. You got Phoenix there to help. No, it's the other way around. And Lady Decade, Pickle, and Chats to have a good time. Have a wonderful stream. Can't wait for tonight. And, of course, he's talking about our Mount Your Friend special tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Promo code MOUNT. Okay, let's move on to the other one. First, I'm going to...
I just got started. Don't worry. Moving on. Any pretense. There's no Creamy Craig today. I'm fine with Creamy Blabs and Ciao Bella. Bye. Anyway, Alex for 5 says change the name from side scrollers to sick scrollers. Yeah, well, 50% half dead on this panel right now. Hooray. Mercenary for 1 says, yeah, nothing but you're fired, Blabs. Well, your mom's fired.
Please don't fire her today. I do need her.
Yes, I am literally doing everything behind the scenes. Peasant for 10 says, question for Lady Decade. Don't you need a license to be British in the UK? And do you have snow in the UK?
I've got several licenses, although apparently we've had some steps in the right direction regarding the digital ID no longer being mandatory, so that's good. So maybe I don't need a license to live here.
Congrats.
And, but do we have snow? We had a bit of snow. Nothing to write home about. I don't like it when it snows anyway. We're one of them crap countries that is not prepared for snow at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you guys do if it's snowing?
Shit the bed, basically.
Wow. Okay.
Like, we're one of those countries where you don't even put like chains on our tyres or anything.
It's just so rare.
Like, no salt on the roads or anything.
They do
like
put
that.
salt on the roads, but it's people.
It's just salt packets because they're so unprepared. It's just
yeah. Go out with some Saxa.
Okay.
Right.
But no, I live too far south in the country for snow to be of that great a concern for me.
Have you seen snow before? I'm assuming you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, some people are like, I've never seen the snow before. And it's like, wow, okay. Anyway,
she
guys.
changed her accent on that.
So
I've
this
never seen the snow before.
Right, so
Gouache.
Today, Craig looks more manly and less as a lesbian. Oh, you
he doesn't
removed
look
it.
like Rachel Maddow today.
Oh, okay. Should
Anyway,
I continue? Okay.
So this is not what it looks like. This is actually the equivalency to 69 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Retro for 69 cents says, today Craig looks more... Oh, this is what it is. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were
I was
actually
just
reading
reading
it.
that.
I
Yes,
thought you were just talking out your ass.
No, I was reading the thing and then you took it away from me.
Okay, anyway, growing a beard really helps you. Whereas Phoenix Blabs is not far. Cool Borders comes in the demo disc of PSX. The soundtrack is legendary. Sorry, I thought you were just talking out of your ass saying how much macho you were in comparison to
No, I
Craig
can
being
read.
down.
I can read. This I can
Sometimes
do.
I forget.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Here, you can read this one.
So Bad Gamer for 10 says, "Hey chat, Captain Based
Gamer.
Based Game." Based Gamer for 10 says, "Hey chat, just left a customer house who had the view on her background. Toss my buds on quick to list to side scrolled from yesterday. Lady Decade is beautiful and Landman is an amazing watch. Super based show. I've not seen Landman, but hear great things. I know the writer of that show. Anytime I've seen an interview with him, he is like a normal man. So you may want to consider watching. I think it's on Paramount Plus, Blabs, correct? I think that's what...
Yes, Landman's
Okay.
on Paramount Plus.
All right. That's totally...
Danny for $4.99 says, I have a very important question for everyone here. What's your opinion on Frogger?
More than just the arcade game.
What the...
Lady Pickle, you have any thoughts on Frogger?
I've
only ever
spent
played-
many.
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you
Sorry,
said
I'm-
pickle.
I'm constantly talking over you. I'm so sorry.
All right, Pickle first.
I was gonna say I've spent many an hour playing Frogger in the past.
Frogger's
It might
an
have been a
amazing game.
fixation.
Yeah. Decade?
I'm rubbish at it.
Yeah, well,
I'm
it's
really
a hard...
rubbish.
That's one of those games where it looks so easy, like when your friends play, like move out of the way, I can do it, and then die instantaneously. Yeah, that's what makes it a great game, because it's kind of easy concept to understand, but very, very hard to be good at that. So I definitely feel your pain. Blabs, you've never played Frogger, correct?
I'm assuming there's frogs in it.
That is correct.
Oh.
You've played it. You're a master of it. Perfect.
Thank you. All right. Axbear for 5 says, I started dating recently at 25 and 26 and met the hottest girl in town. We're on our way to our 5th date. Wish me luck, lads. You can do it. Yeah. Okay. Piranapa for 10 says, DMC the reboot lost me when they made fun of the original white hair. He flew through a costume shop. A white wig fell on his head, looked in the mirror and said, never in a million years.
That is the exact moment they lost me as well.
Yeah.
Completely agree with that. I was in the
Anyway.
launch trailer.
New York Giants fans, this question for you guys. Do people in electric cars listen to AC or something more current?
Wait for it. Wait.
Well, that's a bit retired.
There it is.
Thank you. I like that. Okay.
Da-da-dum. Da-da-dum.
Wisp for 1 says, time for an exciting episode of Phoenix's Puppet Pals.
Yep, that's usually what I do when I'm just home alone. So I figured let's bring it out to the public real soon. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Exec Prod for $8.70. It's very oddly specific for plus. But anyway, there's a Quest 64 recompilation playable on PC effort that was just made public a few days ago. I'm not sure why though.
No one does. Yeah, no, Quest 64 kind of is the laughing stock of the N64, but it was the only RPG they had, so I guess that's why they're remaking it. So I'll check that out.
Hail side scrolls, Mahang normal men, Pickle, your voice is so beautiful. It's like having a gel caress my ears. God bless you all, and Deuce Volt.
I've been told I have a medicine cabinet voice.
You're like Phoebe Buffet when she's sick and she's singing and everyone loves her. It's the same
Thank
thing.
you.
Yes. Soul Silver for 10 says, instead of getting fired, give Blabs a pay cut and give the rest to Phoenix for the bad list. Shin Megami Tensei is a cult classic, but is a big influence to the RPG genre. Score is a T-.
Wow, harsh.
Hurtful. Anyway.
Blab, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, I think it was an A++ list, so you should definitely never leave here ever, please.
Or else you're screwed.
Yep.
Okay, so usually when I host, I call this part flaccid news before getting into hard news. So it's up to you if you want to get into flaccid news or not, or we just go into hard news.
I would love to do a little bit of flaccid news right now, a couple of quick hits, if you wouldn't mind. Because actually, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've seen this. It's kind of been going around social media, the samurai bartender. Let's take a look at this.
I'm going to put on mute just in case, but this guy's nuts, actually. And I know for some reason, Lady Decade made notes about this.
I did. So I was curious about this, and I remembered seeing something on Netflix at some point about Japanese master craftsmen. So I would imagine, because he looks pretty young to me, that this guy specializes in this one particular skill, artisanal skill. And then I read online that in Japan, most people will pick one thing that they become a master in. So it takes them 10,000 hours, which can take anything from a couple of years to like 7 years to become a master of something. But to be called a master, they must do 60,000 hours.
Years.
60,000 years. I've been saying years. 10,000 hours, sorry, to become a master of something. But then they have to be called a master, they have to do 60,000 hours, not years. So he is obviously outrageous.
It's really impressive to me because I went to Japan once in 2019. I wasn't there for very long, but even the kid, he was like probably like 19, 20 years old. He was the hotel bartender, and it was a new hotel. There wasn't a lot of people staying in it at the time, but he was so excited to have us in his bar of like 7 seats. And he was doing all this crazy shit, like not like the super like flashy, extravagant, spraying glitter on your drink and everything.
Right.
But like he carved the ice, like in his hand for the drinks. He wiped all the glasses down. He gives you, they give you like hot towels for your hands and everything. It was just a really cool experience. It was very refreshing compared to going to like my favorite dive bar in America and wondering, who's going to be yelling at me.
Right. What I want to know is from everyone on the panel here, what would you tip this gentleman? How much would you tip him? Let's say, I don't know, let's say your drink cost, let's say $15, $20. What are you tipping him for presenting the drink in this manner?
I mean, if they were to accept tips even, because I know they don't.
Oh, they don't? Okay.
I would definitely give him like $10, $15.
Half, basically.
Yeah.
Decade, how much would you give this gentleman? Or would you kind of look for the guy that's like new to the job, not doing anything, that way you only have to give him a $1 tip? What would you do here, Decade?
Well, in England, the usual thing is that generally speaking, you always leave a 10% tip.
Oh, you do? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like that's the given thing. You generally leave a 10% tip. But again, as Picker was just saying, like in Japan, they don't really do tipping. I suppose they would charge accordingly. For something like that, I would expect to pay significantly more than just any old regular bar.
Right.
Because you're going in and paying for an experience with that, aren't you? So,
sure.
So if I was having a cocktail love for food, I'd be happy to pay something like 40, 50 quid for that.
Wow. Okay.
Because that's an experience. You're going in there and receiving something bespoke.
I'm also a little, I'm a little biased because I have worked in the service industry for like my entire life. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
were you throwing around fire and juggling stuff?
I fucking wish I was, man. Could you
should
imagine?
Try it. Let the drinks fall.
What? You're right. Maybe if I bring fire into the salon, that will go well for me. I'll get extra tips for that.
Atta girl, that's what I like to see.
Learn how to do a flambe
with someone's hair.
And Blabs, how much would you if they accepted tips? How much? I'm just curious.
See, here's the thing, though. The presentation and all that is really, really cool. But at the end of the day, if the drink sucks and it's really, really poor.
True. What if it does suck?
Like, I would have to be guaranteed that it's a good drink, and then I'd probably do like 20%. I'd say minimum. for a
Okay,
tip like
so
that.
so maybe that bar is just shit alcohol. It's just basically just
Well, you never
Kool-Aid.
know that. Because a lot of times they're super duper like really cool and stuff, and then you get the drink and it tastes terrible, right? So
Right.
But there's a way to know in advance.
that's also the
TripAdvisor.
problem.
TripAdvisor. Google reviews. Check it first.
Yes, reviews.
Don't
But,
waste your time.
when I was in Japan, they had some really cool drinks and stuff, and it's honestly relatively cheap in comparison to, let's say, the USA and all that. But yeah, they didn't do tips or any of that stuff there, which is fantastic because you don't have to go, okay, and now what else do I owe on top of that? Because I fucking hate tips. I just want it to be one price, done, you pay, and you're out. I hate tips, so it was just lovely being there. Also in Australia, there was no tips. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, we're pretty much like, there's not many places in the world that partake in tipping culture. And I am also, being a person that works for tips in both like restaurants and doing hair, it kind of fucking sucks because when you're a server, your entire income is your tips. You don't get paid hourly. But as a hairdresser, half my income is tips. So it's like half my income isn't guaranteed, you know? So it's like damn. And then, it's a whole thing.
Would you prefer if the system was complete, like no tips at all, but you're paid X? Would you prefer that, or do you feel that you make more from the tips?
It's really hit or miss, right? Because I'll have clients that, like, let's say a haircut is $20, right? I have clients sometimes, or sorry, we'll say this. Say a haircut is like $24. I have clients that'll hand me $25 and say keep the change. And you know what? I'm like, I'll take $1, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, shit.
Yeah.
It almost feels worse than not being tipped at all, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know why. It's because like they'll be like, yeah, keep the change. You did great. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, it really is change. But I'm blessed to have like a pretty decently hourly wage. But then, like when you think about going to restaurants and stuff, if your hourly wage as a server is high, if you're making like $15 an hour, that's going to make everything at the cost of the restaurant more expensive too, because that's just how people view it in the eyes of like living in a capitalist society. So because the owner still wants to be able to make a bunch of money too.
Right.
I think that's what would happen if we had an hourly wage for servers instead of no tips.
You get tipped for cutting hair.
Yeah.
We don't do that. You tip in restaurants.
Yeah.
That's more or less it.
Yeah, everybody
You tip
tips
for
hair
everything
tips
here.
Yeah, it's insane.
Literally, and you could go to McDonald's and now there's like a screen that says, "Do you want to leave a tip?"
Is
It's
there
like,
For
really?
McDonald's.
not literally McDonald's, but like
but there are. There
like
are for,
Annie
fast
Ann's,
foods.
the pretzel
Yeah.
place.
Oh,
like,
really? I
Tip.
don't eat like fast food and stuff like that.
That's
So
good.
I had no idea. I mean,
But
I know that
because
you
they're
go
not even
to.
serving you or anything. So it's
I know,
why
like
the
at like
fuck do you want a tip?
Starbucks or like other coffee shops, like tipping baristas is known.
Yeah,
a
you
known
have that
thing,
here.
But
no, in McDonald's over here, they do something which really annoys me, which is they do round up the cost of your meal to the nearest pound
I don't
for
I don't do
charity.
that either.
Mhm.
And that annoys the shit out of me because why am I giving money to a corporation to pass on to a charity?
Taxes.
Yeah. No,
That's
they
why
can-
They
can
want you
piss
to
off
pay
of
their
that.
taxes for them.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, they can piss off of that.
I had and we'll move to the next topic in a second because we've got a lot to talk about today. But I did have an ex-girlfriend back in the day when I was in San Francisco. She thought she was a little punk rock rebel every single time, and she would always put a smiley face of pennies as the tip. She'd put on the table just this. She was really not a nice person. So she'd make a little smiley face of pennies, and she never caught on because every single time we would leave, I'd go, "Oh, dear, I do need to go to the bathroom for a second. I'll meet you back." And I'd always run in and have to pay the waiter more than I would have even had to anyway because they were so insulted. So this went on for years. I always had to run back in and give the tip, and she never caught on. She always thought I just had a pee problem, I guess.
I've had
You've
stuff
had that?
like that happen to me before. Not the pee problem. I don't have a pee problem. I admit.
You haven't had someone leave like a circle with with like an upside down smile on an angry face in coins. Your food sucks. Cross face.
Yeah, I've had some weird experiences with that.
Well, speaking of weird experiences, again, I am the segue master. Let's talk all about tree houses, Blabs. Let's talk about tree houses. And we're actually going to focus on the 10 world's best tree houses. Does anyone here on the panel have any experience with you either had a tree house or a friend had a tree house? Does anyone have any memories of that? Nada?
One time I rented an Airbnb that was a tree house, and it was cool.
Oh, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, it was in the back. It was in Virginia, in the back of this Amish family's property,
Okay.
and it was along like this little like river. And I remember one morning I woke up and there was this Amish woman that came down the trail, and she was trying to sell her wine,
Okay.
and it felt like a very otherworldly experience being there, because I felt more isolated going out there than anything. I was like, well, I'm in a treehouse, so that's cool. I also broke one of their mugs, and I felt bad.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a terrible story. Blabs, do you have this thing queued up?
Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
Okay, lovely.
Okay, so it feels like entering a folktale. 10 of the
Yeah,
world's
like
most
that.
spectacular tree houses. This comes from the BBC. Lady Decade, don't you love the BBC?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. They lost trust, and now because they lost trust with what they did with Donald Trump, because they lost trust in that. Obviously, they now have to do what they can to gain that trust back.
Lady Decade, don't worry.
No, I've got feelings. I have to pay money to them every month.
Yes, you do, because you got a license for the BBC.
You have my
Anyway,
license.
This is the first one. It's in Italy. It's like an egg almost.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it looks like an egg timer.
Yeah, so that one's from 2017. Then there's this one that just kind of looks like a giant pipe, like you're plumbing.
That's crap.
Yeah, I'm wondering
Where's
if
the
maybe
tree?
it's
Well,
part underground.
I don't even understand. That's not even in a tree. That's false advertising.
No, it's not. Yeah,
Yeah,
2021.
look at that.
That's fake
Let's
news.
go.
Oh, that one's not exactly in a
A
tree.
tree either. So none of these. So it turns out to have a great tree house, you have to go sans
Don't need
tree.
trees. This one's not in the tree either. In fact, there's a pool.
Is it because they used wood? Is that the criteria for
Yeah,
said
is that
tree
the new
houses?
definition? This one's up in the air.
Cool.
This one's cool.
That's
This one's
pretty cool.
actually on trees. Right there.
Wait, does it just have a bunch of birdhouses on it?
I think
Kinda
so.
looks
Yeah.
like it, but
I-
you can also
my-
walk through it because there's this
Oh,
whole
I
railway.
see.
So it is a birdhouse. This is from Sweden. I'd go to this one. This one looks cool,
That looks pretty
and
badass.
it's actually in a tree. And then we have this one's actually in a tree. This one fits that criteria. This one's in California in 2020. I dig this one. It's very
Yeah.
simple though. I don't know how this one makes the top 10 in the world when it looks like that. You know?
Yeah, but if it's in California, does that mean you have to tick several boxes before they let you in?
Yeah.
That is
maybe.
correct.
This is
Yep.
just glamping in Indonesia. Like, that's just glamping. But I guess you're up in the trees because you look pretty high up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
outrageous.
It's a tree house.
I'm assuming it's the open air structure. Okay, made of entirely bamboo, but that's not a treehouse. Bamboo. Whatever. I
They'd
guess
have
you can
loads of that
count
in
it.
Indonesia, though. That part of the world probably have loads of bamboo everywhere.
Yes. I like this one, though. This one just looks like you're in a
It-
pod.
It looks like a Pokeball.
Right? You gotta catch them all
does.
and freaking tundra.
Looks like an
don't ya?
electrode, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is sweet. Again, it's not exactly a tree house though, because it's just suspended by
like
wires
a
from
balloon.
A tree. Yeah. There's a ladder down there, so it's not exactly the right tree house.
Yeah, I feel like this article missed out on the most important
did.
part of the treehouse experience. That being,
The whole
wait for it,
tree.
the tree. That's what it seems like. Yes.
Yes. This one actually is on a tree, and it just looks like a boat, but it's up in the air.
I have a feeling they're just building around a tree. That's what it kind of just seems like.
This is the land of Arch in Norway.
Okay.
All right.
Well, it's very pretty. Okay.
And
So
then this is
they're
the
all-
last one. That one looks like it's got eyeballs.
Alligator.
So it's
Looks
just
like
a house.
fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
The
looks
house
like
on
almost
metal.
like a Pokemon.
Yeah. All right.
They're all very nice, but they're just a bit stuck up, aren't they?
Oh,
It is
yeah.
a fox
Little
made
bit,
in
yeah.
the
I agree.
USA.
This is like snooty tree houses for
Yeah,
the
top
wealthy.
10 snooty tree houses, yes.
So anyway, that's
Is that
it.
everything?
Yeah.
That's the best
pretty
one, though.
disappointed. The last one is the best one, I guess. But again, it's not really in a tree. It's just
No.
suspended with pillars.
Yeah, they're
And,
just
like,
building
a
around
deck.
trees.
Yeah.
What
they're
they
building on
need
trees.
is the top 10 tree houses built by absolute lunatics with no money. That's what we need. Like proper
Yes.
hodgepodge,
Like,
bodge it together.
Yeah, like I built this for my kids when they were 5. It took me 5 years to build. They're no longer interested in it.
Yeah, or I'm a loony. I've rejected society. I'm living in the woods now. This is what
Yeah.
I've built with my own 2 hands.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Blabs, it's time for my favorite segment.
Not yet, it's not.
No, it's not.
Okay, Dan, for here, Phoenix, you can read that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, we do have snow. We almost got snowed in. I've watched all of Landman. Great show that everybody's talking about lately. Keep up.
Oh.
Thumbs up. Thank you very much, Dan Evilbot. From Shadow Calic for MX50, Love Corpse Party, a new classic 2010s Japanese horror RPG, very focused on fan service and gore, horribly visually gory, or focused on panties, or both? Render me
Thank
intrigued.
I
Thank
do
you
have
very
to
much.
get this one real fast. Des rated on Kick and Rumble. Thank you very much, Des, for the raid.
Thank you very much, lady. Desiree.
Did you guys know I have a speech impediment? I don't actually, but thank you. Hippie Tree Hugger for 500 kicks says, I have a favorite food truck, so I always give maximum tip when the screen comes up. I also tip my barber. The more you know. Paladin for 5 says, got my plane ticket and hotel room for the Real Game Awards next month.
Ooh.
Super excited. See y'all there.
Can't wait to see you there, brother.
Stoked. A Modest Rat for 5. Actually, you gotta read this one, Phoenix, in some Italian voice, I guess.
Okay. Bada bing! Craig is sick and Phoenix is in charge. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. JK, good luck and what a memorable birthday. Thanks, A Phoenix. Death to cucumbers and on tacos, lasagna soup. First of all, thank you very much. Don't wait a second. I just want to. It is my birthday. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's everyone's favorite day. We have it only once, but once a year. I wish we could make it every day because it's quite a
literally do.
celebration. That is false and that is hurtful. Let's go to the next one. But thank you again. I appreciate that.
Torgo the Wife for 5 says, did you see the UK pulled the Pathways game from its website because of the monumental dunking it's been getting? Suffer off, calm, suffer. Is that real?
Wah, brilliant.
Has Pathways been actually removed? Oh, I gotta check that out.
Well, probably that version.
Awesome. All right. And then I gotta hit this one up real fast. Young Stowe for 2 says, he's no samurai pizza cat though. Phoenix, my boy. And then I gotta play some titties.
Okay.
Boop. Okay, Greek Tober for $50 says, what a treat we get today. We have the elegant lady Decade, who I'm going to make an honorary Greek. Piccolo is funny and smart. Birthday boy Phoenix, who does great impressions. And Blabs, a true MVP of side scrollers. I miss my boy Craig, but you guys will rock it out. Thank you very much for the 50. I would say you're going on the wall, but I don't have a wall to put you on. I'm sorry. So, there you go.
I'll say,
Sticking out
Efaristo Parapoli.
Ooh.
words.
Yep.
Thank you for that. Okay,
Thank you very
now,
much.
Phoenix, it is your favorite segment.
It is my favorite segment. Your favorite segment. It's cute, correct?
What do you
It's
mean
time for
cute?
hard news.
I can't find it.
You see, I was trying to give you plenty of leeway.
So
Oh,
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The assets have moved around on StreamYards
Okay.
because of all the things that we put in back behind the scenes. So I couldn't find it for a second, but I did find it. So have no fear, everybody. I have found it. It's
Blabs,
fine.
don't worry. You have job security like you can't believe today. It's okay. You can screw up as much as you want. And speaking of
Hooray!
screwing up, perfect segue to AI conversations. We're talking about AI. Before we talk about AI, briefly, chat and panel, I'm curious, do you see AI as a tool that's going to be beneficial to the world, that we can find a way to make this work for us and really help society and jobs and stuff like that? Or do you see it as doomsday? Panel, I'd love to. Decade, do you have any opinion on AI?
It's useful as a tool. I've been using it to help me with homeschooling my children.
Wow.
Very
How does that
useful.
work? How does that work out?
Oh, well, I'll just type in something along the lines of give me 20 essential words for a 7-year-old to know how to spell in accordance with the British curriculum.
Okay.
And then it will spit out a load of words for me to use. It's just things like that. Just sometimes I'll write something down and then I'm like, could I get a bit of extra on that? And then Google's got Gemini on it. That's helpful.
Right.
Definitely helpful for helping with research.
Okay.
But
Beautiful.
you just, it's the same with anything in moderation. That's the main thing.
Do you think it's something that can be moderated, or do you think like once it's released, it's here we go, strap in?
It's different for every person, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the stuff that I see with AI really makes me cringe. But then other stuff, I'm like, oh, well, that's inevitable that's going to happen. But then there's other things that it can be really, really useful for. So, yeah, it's just, it depends on the user. Like anything can be abused.
Okay. Pickle?
I'm kind of the same mindset. Like, I think it is useful for a tool. I think that the way corporations are, like large corporations are using AI in some aspects are inappropriate, because I do feel like it has affected the job market greatly. And I feel like it is contributing to, at least in America, the economic, the employment recession that we're having in certain aspects. So I'm a little disappointed in that, but I think it'll catch up to us pretty quickly, as it has been put into use. I think it's useful for a tool. I draw, I do art and stuff. I'm not personally for my artwork. I personally don't really care if my artwork is ran through AI generation, because I kind of feel like at a certain point it's inevitable.
Okay.
I didn't understand how other artists can not sympathize with me on that. But yeah, I think it's useful as a tool. I do think that, depending on how things go, it could get maybe a little weird in the future with the whole like doomsday thing. But I don't think we're gonna end up with a horrible situation.
All right, so
in that respect,
you could see this as having a positive outcome at the end of the day.
If it's used correctly and not by very selfish people, yes.
Okay, well, let's hope the corporations don't become selfish, though. there's the trick.
That's wishful thinking.
Yeah, that's always the trick. And Blabs, do you have any thoughts on AI? Just kind of quick.
It's similar to the girls, I'd say, but also, yeah, as a tool. For example, I use it for like thumbnails, because I'm a terrible editor. So if I want the background removed, I just press that button and bam, I'm good to go. Do I like that it's doing all these crazy things like deep fakes and all this stuff? No, I don't like those. But as like a simple tool that can help me with like thumbnails and stuff, I'm all for it, even though on the other hand, it's basically taking away someone else's job, because there are editors and things like that and people who make thumbnails for a living. So I'm like, But it's also like the people with back in the day who were, over time, you stop using certain things, you progress to something else. And like, it's just kind of a recycling of people, I guess, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of an example. Basically, when certain people wouldn't have a job anymore, and then I guess you could say, let's for example, like silent movies.
Like the printing press?
Yeah, the printing press, or silent movies, actors who were doing all the, they weren't actually speaking, and then they brought in the actors. Well, those other actors were retired because turns out they have shit voices. They can't actually do the right lines or whatever it is, so they were retired, and new people came in. So it's kind of like that, I guess.
Okay. Well, let's. I always think it's good to have that conversation, especially when that is a topic. So let's talk about this. This AI character swap is insane. Do we have that queued up?
Yeah, so I'm gonna play this on mute because it does have lots of copyright music.
I got hoes.
Shout out copyright from YouTube. But here it is, which is crazy. So this is the real guy down below, and this is the person. This is AI.
This is one of the things that actually kind of scares me about AI because one of my coworkers, she's 45 and not very technologically literate.
Mm-hmm.
She actually got scammed recently pretty badly where they were using AI, like an app like this, to make themselves look like federal agents.
Wow.
And they had all of her information because it was leaked online. And they essentially blackmailed her. And then they also, once they got her on the phone and had her samples of her voice and, images of her and everything, they actually used AI to call her family members posing as her to ask them for money. And that was very scary.
Yeah, and even people who are content creators too. I imagine you could make a video pretending to be that host and saying some pretty terrible things, and no one's going to know that was AI generated. So this would kind of be a pretty terrifying thing. Now, the technology here is extremely impressive. First of all, do we know if it's 100% legit that this wasn't, for instance, like actually live, that they were, maybe they just put their video in AI and then it output? Do we know for a fact that this is actually like in real time?
Based on this, generate on local machine up to 20 seconds at 4K L2 TX2. Okay. So this is all him. So I'm assuming it's real.
Because once they can do it in real time, then
AI
that becomes
educator.
Then that becomes interesting. So, because for instance, you could do some small content creator could say today's guest is Brad Pitt, and then just have their roommate basically be Brad Pitt, and like your ratings go through the roof. So, panel, what do you guys think of this? As far as, especially as content creators yourself, does this scare you or does this excite you?
I don't like it. No, I don't like other people using like my voice or my likeness and saying things that I would never say. I mean, it's already happening though. So one of my friends uses my AI voice for TTS. So I say some pretty wild shit. I've been saying the N-bombs and all this other stuff.
Well, that's just your regular day. I mean,
this is also true. But and sometimes it will annoy me and I'll be in the chat and be like, yo, I didn't actually say that. What the fuck? But most people do realize that it's not exactly me because obviously it's not fine-tuned enough to be like precisely you, so you'll know that's but still some dumbass would be like, oh my god, she said this, even though it was just a super chat with my voice. So I'm not a big fan.
Decade Pickle?
No, that makes my skin crawl. I don't like it.
What would you do if you saw like you're on YouTube one day and you're seeing yourself saying things that you know for a fact? It's like, what? Step me through how you're feeling about that.
Well, that's the sort of thing you get really stressed out. That would stress me out, I would imagine, if I was to see that. The thing is, it depends. Like, that's the sort of thing that one side would probably say, well, it needs regulation. And then you get people that say, why does it need regulation? But I think a normal, reasonable person would say that they need to start putting there needs to be some kind of parameters put in place. Because like what we're seeing at the moment is like, hasn't grok just been banned in 3 Asian countries? And I think my government is threatening to ban grok or ban X over it as well. And so there needs to be something, because at the moment, I mean, the internet's the wild west at the best of times as it is. Mm-hmm. But something like this is makes you feel a bit nervous.
Well, what about satire? You could say that I'm just satirizing this content creator or this celebrity. You can see that could probably get into some issues right there. I guess like a helpful thing would be almost that you were required to state or display that this is not the actual person. You'd have to like state that up front, but maybe as a potential self-pickle.
I feel like AI with deepfakes is extremely harmful to reputations because it is a tool that people can use to do exactly that. And I've seen it happen to other celebrities and everything. I've also seen it be used, like, as you guys were just talking about, like on X. to be harmful to people that, in ways that they would not prefer. I am like the personal opinion that if it isn't disclosed that it is a like AI generated image or a video or whatever, that should have some kind of penalty to it, because you don't know what the other person deems harmful to their reputation. Me and myself as a VTuber, I don't really have to worry much about my own personal fleshy self being on the internet in that capacity, because I do feel like, though, that's why it's so scary, because when they're generating images of real people, it's scarily accurate. And at least with artwork, you can tell 90% of the time if it's AI or if it's AI animated, But the scariest part that comes down to it is the fact that it is so accurate with people's own likeness and voices too. It's crazy now.
Yeah. It's I've dabbled a little bit in AI, and in just in my limited capacity, it is very, very impressive stuff of what you can do with it, and you can mimic people's voices almost in real time now. Like I've had some software where you can, as you're talking, it'll just mimic it. So even in my small little world of getting to know this technology,
Yeah, what's that one
powerful.
that one module called? It's called Nora or Sora. Sora is like
Sora.
insane.
Yep.
I got insanely good really fast.
Blabs, is there another part to this?
No, I showed both of those. It
you
was
did?
just
Okay.
the 2 videos. So like this one is actually celebrities, right? And then the first one is just like Cat Girl.
All right, so here's my, because I guess we'll wrap it up here in a second, but here's my question for the panel. So let's say you see this. You're seeing content creators being emulated in this capacity. You're seeing this kind of all over the place. With the benefits you guys had mentioned that AI is positive to you, if this is the ultimate outcome, and let's say it isn't regulated, because I do see it hard to regulate, right? Because especially with the ideas of parody, freedom of speech, things like that. And that also kind of crosses into like people who can just do impressions. If they were on the radio, you wouldn't know that wasn't Brad Pitt if they can do an impression of them. So like that's never been regulated. So my question is, with all those positives that you had mentioned, do you still feel that AI is a good tool, or when you look at this stuff, you go, you know what, maybe the bad outweighs the good? I'm just kind of curious.
I feel it's kind of like 50-50 almost in my eyes.
Sure.
Because I feel like it can be as equally good as it is bad. There's just a lot of shitty things you can do with it, I guess.
Yeah.
I would say as it stands right now, the bad outweighs the good in my eyes.
Okay.
Just with the way that it's like the way it's going, because I don't feel that at least for the like general society or like the average person, it's no better than a personal assistant right now. And then otherwise these other like modules can be used to harm people as well. So
what's kind of interesting is like, we're all based on our careers, we're all, obsessively online, and we know this stuff. I'm kind of curious what the outside public knows anything about AI, because if they don't know much, if it's just something they've heard about, these kind of scams that we were kind of talking about at the top of it, they're, I imagine, very susceptible. This is no longer the 85-year-old grandma that gets duped out of something. This could be a very young family that gets a phone call, with a video image of their son asking for money, from a prank, family across their neighbor or something, and maybe they get scammed out of money. So that's going to be kind of interesting. Decade, what are your thoughts on this? Pro, con?
Again, like being able to use it as a simple tool, that's quite harmless. It's essentially like having a Google search, but it's bolstered up a lot better for you. But some of the stuff that people are able to do with images and video, I do find that really scary. But if there was a choice between have AI, but then have all of these scary things that come along with AI, go scorched earth, go back to just normal internet, normal Google searches, and just gathering my research information like the old-fashioned way, or learning how to flipping aquascape my flipping fish tank downstairs the old-fashioned way by reading, rather than just saying ChatGPT, tell me how to put this stuff together, then I'd rather go scorched earth.
Okay.
Because, I mean, for me, it wouldn't make a massive amount of difference, in all honesty.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to have it. It's nice, but I was fine having Google searches.
Yeah, you're saying that the bad may potentially outweigh the good here, basically.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Blabs?
I'm doing fires right now. Please
Oh,
continue.
okay. No, all right, we're done. All right, so, well, I was going to move on to the next topic, but do you need a little bit more time there, Blabs?
No, I do have
You want to do some
the
super
other
chats?
section of this AI conversation. It's
okay.
not the same though. So I don't know if you guys are you guys fans of SDCC, which is San Diego Comic Con? Anybody?
My favorite.
I've never been. So
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a
I
no,
don't, I don't know what it is.
San Diego Comic Con.
Oh, I've never been to a Comic-Con.
I've only been to one, so it's not that exciting. However, they did make this statement that I want to show. Oh, guys, it's so tiny on screen. Okay, here we go. All right, so SDCC, which, if I'm not mistaken, they were the ones that had Stanley AI. You guys remember that whole conversation last year with the AI where you could talk to him for like $20 or whatever? I'm pretty sure that was the same Comic-Con.
Are you guys familiar with that? Because if you're not, it's really dystopian, I can tell you.
I think I remember hearing about that, and I didn't believe that it was real.
Yeah. All right. So, Decade, especially, and to chat, if you've not heard about this really fast, there was a Comic-Con where, and Blabs, correct me if I'm wrong, where you could, I believe, wait online and potentially spend money to talk to this large rectangle of Stan Lee.
Okay,
and
it wasn't San Diego. It was LA Comic Con, apparently.
Okay, but it was a Comic Con of sorts.
Yes.
You could wait online and then talk to this digital version of Stan Lee and ask him a question. So you could talk to people from beyond the grave.
Yeah, it was weird, and it was $20, dude. Not even real. You had to pay $20 to talk to an AI. Anyway, so okay, here is a statement from San Diego Comic-Con basically saying that they are going to be removing quote-unquote AI artwork. So I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's like the whole shabam. However, there is this statement that we can just read instead that is a lot faster from Culture Crave. It says, San Diego Comic-Con will no longer allow AI art to be displayed at their event. Material created by AI either partially or wholly is not allowed in the art show. This follows backlash from artists after SDCC initially indicated AI-generated work would be permitted. So there's one more to this, and then I'll have you guys, give your thoughts and everything. But this is from George. George is a big guy in the arts, and he says, good, AI doesn't belong any place where art is sold or celebrated. It's stolen valor like the bum who buys an army medal at the pawn shop and says he was in Vietnam. So I'd like to hear your opinions if you think AI artwork should be banned at SDCC.
I agree with that, because if you're in an artist alley and you're selling imagine how it would feel if you're in an artist alley and there's a booth next to you that's selling AI artwork. I don't, that's like insane to me that of course people are likely going to still buy your artwork, but just like the prospect of that would piss me off. I would be upset.
That being said, though, some of these AI arts programs do take a lot of skill to be able to make something nice.
For prompting, yes. Yeah.
My mum's friend made a really nice print for my mum that looks like something that my mum could have gone and bought from a shop. Just a print on a canvas that she then mounted herself, but she had made the picture herself. And she'd used colours specifically that my mum had placed around her lounge so that it would tie in nicely, and made something that was really quite beautiful that she wouldn't have had the skills to have painted that herself. So I can understand how, from someone with a very legitimate skill like being able to draw really well or being able to paint really well, would be oppositional to it, which I feel is a fair enough stance to have. But at the same time, some of these programs, because I looked at them maybe more than a year ago, I took a look at one to see whether I could work out how to use it to try and make my own pictures. And I just gave up in the end. I couldn't get my head around it. It's too difficult. And so there's a level of skill there too, to be able to wield it, I guess. But I think if you're going to have some kind of event where someone's going to be in receipt of rewards need to go, well, for skill, really, don't they? Surely.
Yeah, I agree with all of that you just said.
So I would say, and I'm not going to get too much into my opinion, but I would for me, the biggest question is it art if it's not coming from the mind and imagination of the artist, right? So, for instance, like, if you look at film, if I look at any Steven Spielberg film and you didn't tell me it was Steven Spielberg, I could tell you it was Steven Spielberg because I know his shot choices, I know his pacing, I know everything that makes a Steven Spielberg film. The question I guess I have with AI is that no matter what you prompt, it's not coming from your style, right? Like, so Steven Spielberg has a style. And if Steven Spielberg just started to prompt things, every film that he would put out would not feel like Steven Spielberg because it's not coming from his eye, his experiences, his emotions, his output, how he wants to pace things out visually, him in conversation with his cinematographer. It's essentially typing something out and then the computer essentially doing the style for you. So you really just became a great orator of, hey, guy, do this thing for me without really much without much of the soul of the artist. So my question is that actually even art? And it's not a statement, that's a question. And then I would say, like, for me, I don't know if you necessarily should ban this stuff, but in my personal opinion, I do think it should be at least labeled as such that, this was something that didn't come from this particular artist. This is coming from a shared working environment of the artist and a machine. That makes sense. So, Blabs, would you want it at least segregated out, or you think that this is something that it should be welcome?
I don't really think it should be welcomed, but also, again, like, who am I to say what is welcomed and what's not welcomed? I feel like this is very much a slippery slope when it comes to AI, and I don't think there's ever a win here. That is here is kind of, we're kind of stuck with it, really. But I don't know. I don't like it.
Maybe give it its own like little section or something.
That's what I was saying. Maybe segregate
it
out.
I guess that's like the best thing, since you're kind of stuck with it. It's there.
I think if you're going to go on to like ChatGPT and say something like, draw me a cat wearing an orange playing snooker, and then going and having that picture generated and then selling it at a stall, that's not really right, is it? But I think it depends on the level of it. Like, if you've needed to really, really learn how to use a tool to be able to generate the images, it's like you say, it's a slippery slope. Where do you start and where do you begin? How are you supposed to file that and organize it and come up with rules?
It makes me think of AI commercials, and that drives me insane.
Anything in particular? What aspect of it?
It drives me insane because it reminds me of the one example of like people losing their jobs, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not usually very good either. Like, I know Coca-Cola made one this past holiday season, I believe. It was completely AI generated, and they were like proud of it. They were like, look at our AI generated commercial. I guess that's where that comes from for me, but it's just like a weird thing to see in like mainstream media, that it's like popping up more and more, I guess, if that makes sense. It kind of feels like Uncanny Valley almost. Like, it almost makes feel like the dystopian aspect feel real.
Sure. Well, what's going to be interesting to me, and I guess we'll move on to Super Chats, Blabs, in a second. But one of the things that always interests me about this is that, and I promise I'll keep this really short because, boy, I can really start going. So, like, my short little pitch here is, one of the great things about art, I wouldn't necessarily say it has anything to do with skill. I think you could have a 5-year-old draw something, but as long as that came from from them and their soul and their perspective, that's artwork to me. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be the greatest artist in the world. It's just sharing a perspective. What's going to be interesting to me is that the way life has always been is that we've had artists, filmmakers, musicians, etc., that make content based off of their emotions, the emotions of the time period, the emotions of the politics, the emotions of the people, and all that stuff that's happening around them. And so what you get from that is a shared culture, right? We're all, if in a political climate, you're going to start seeing more stories being written and told and filmed from the lens of people that are living through political times, let's say, some trying times. And so that culture that we all share and watch and view and listen to gets into our own zeitgeist, and that changes the hairstyles and the fashion and the slang, all that stuff. What happens when every single thing that's made is made from a machine? And then I wonder, what does our culture and fashion and slang all look like when it's all just made from machines themselves and not someone that's actually living in that environment to be inspired to make something? So I'm just going to be, that's the thing that fascinates me most. I don't know if the chat has anything to say about that, but panel, how does that bring to you?
I think one of the things that probably sits very uncomfortably with everybody with AI is that with the increase in it, it is starting to diminish the value of human excellence. So, for example, you always measure human excellence in the greats of the past, like Beethoven or Einstein or Stephen Hawking. And what you're finding is, for example, AI can make you, if you're not careful, really stupid. I think I was watching Dr. K explaining about a study he was reading on one of his podcasts about students using AI to write their scripts, I'm saying scripts because that's what I'm thinking about. I worry about when I write my scripts, am I absorbing this information? So the same with essays. When they used ChatGPT to help them write their essays, their recall afterwards was really bad. And this is something I worry about when I write my scripts. One of the reasons why I try to be careful with using AI is that I am frightened that I will not absorb the information when, at the best of times, going back several years before we had ChatGPT or anything like that, and I would have to sit and read online sources, I already struggled with retaining information. And even now, I struggle with retaining information. So that's why I say, use it as a tool, because if you become over-reliant on something like that, how are you supposed to hold on to that information and make sure that your own brain isn't diminishing? That's something that I really, really, really worry about. So, yeah, that's something that I would say to, if you've got anyone that does do script writing or writes essays or anything like that, just make sure that you're the one actually writing it so that you're retaining the information yourself.
Sure. On the smallest example, you can see it just with even just calculators, just how, we're so reliant on a calculator now that, if I don't have my calculator now and I owe, I gave you $1 and I don't know what change to give somebody, you need it. If you don't have your device in front of you, you fall apart as a society. So even on that small level, you could see how that could make someone lazy and dependent on a machine. Pickle, any thoughts on that?
I kind of sympathize with that idea, because I can actually use myself as a direct example. The last class that I took in college a couple of years ago was an elective class. It was about Civil War, which I used to be super into history and stuff in high school, so I was like, okay, I'll take this class. And I remember towards the end of the semester being so checked out that I had prompted in ChatGPT to write my responses to the essay prompts that they had with the class. And I would then read the essay prompt, and I would go in, and I guess I would basically edit or proofread the responses and then change them to my own wording. But if I had to tell you that I retained any of that information from that class, absolutely not. I did not leave that class learning more about the Civil War than I had already known.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I agree with all of that. The creativity thing, you know, I believe it diminishes the value of human creativity and otherwise as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I'd finish up on is, you know, like even on like a small level, like, you know, like we've all been through breakups and, you know, or whatever life trauma, or maybe someone unfortunately passes away in your life. And there's that song or that movie or whatever, that book that you return to that kind of gives you that guidance because it came from an artist with that same experience. And you could really feel the pain or the sorrow or the joy, whatever it is, in that medium, right? And it concerns me when we'll be looking for that from ones and zeros. When ones and zeros is telling us what that human experience of loss is, and that's the art being fed to us. Mike, I wonder what that looks like for that generation that's getting that from a machine that doesn't really understand it. It's merely just looking out algorithmically and saying, okay, this is what I believe a breakup feels like, and this is what I believe will be inspiring to you. Like what psychologically that could be to that generation. It's going to be an interesting thing for me personally, but I think it's all safe to say that AI is here. So now let's see how it rolls out. Blabs, I guess we should probably get to some super chats, correct?
You should.
Okay.
Okay, me. All right. Here, you can read that.
You took my duties off of this. So that's,
No, I
okay.
didn't. Go ahead.
Okay. Artist, so from C. Blumberg 89 for a 5. Artist Alley is full of AI. Adobe counts. If you're against AI art, only buy hand-drawn art. The artist draws in front of you. Otherwise, it's still AI. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, because I like that.
Don't worry. Clippy Big Maddie for 5 British pounds. Quick off topic, Pickle. Is your design based on power from Chainsaw Man? Either way, it's just really cool. Just saw similarity.
Directly, no. I created my character like 4 years ago before I had even read the Chainsaw Man manga, and then I saw power and I was like, oops.
Yeah. I've not even seen Chainsaw Man, and I kind of understand the similarity there. Marmalin for 10 says, hell, half the country found out how bad the reliance is on cell phones recently. Verizon was down for 8 hours yesterday, and it was a pandemonium. Yeah, it was only for Apple people, I think. However, since I also have Verizon, it was telling me I had no service for a couple seconds. And
From what I've heard, I don't know how accurate this is. I heard that there was actually, depending on how new your phone was, so, because apparently there's a different switch or whatever that's happening in the background.
My phone is
because I knew right. So if you had a new model, it would have failed, and if you had an older model, you were probably going to be okay. That's what I heard.
Yeah, but I only had like no cell phone service for like a couple of minutes, and then I turned off data, turned it back on, and it was totally fine. But I know people have it's basically what you were saying. I know people who have older phones like 5 years ago. No problems with cell service there, but you had for like 10 hours or whatever, right? I only had it for a few minutes.
Glorious hours. Verizon, if you're out there, let's do it again, baby. As long as you want. I'll be happy to pay for not having service.
Looney for 5 says, do you think music labels are using AI? Modern music already feels same-ishy. I think they are too. They must be.
Sure.
Reese for 2 says, if the artists, actors, musicians would have shut the fuck up about their personal politics and just make the art, AI wouldn't have been so sexy a concept, and we probably would have had strangled in the crib. That's blunt.
That's controlled by the customer, though, too.
Yeah. Dan for 20 says, yeah, AI, I'm only playing around with it just for fun, and I have no interest in using it, but I can see that using it as a tool, not being too corporate selfish, and they can get away of it. Seen tons of stuff were done in AI. All right, so I do see that you guys have tons of super chats, but we still have really 2 big topics I want to get to, so we're actually going to pivot real fast. I know Lady Decade's already seen this one because she messaged me this morning. She's like, oh my god! So have you guys seen that Sophie Turner has, there was an image of Sophie Turner as Lara Croft released today. Has anyone seen that?
Briefly, I did, yeah.
And Phoenix, you saw it too?
Yep.
Okay, well, they actually put out a statement. This is from Amazon MGM Studios. Get your artifacts out. She's on her way. Prime Video debut Sophie Turner's fierce new look as Lara Croft in new series Tomb Raider. Ta-da! Well, let's see if we can enhance this. We can't even enhance. What the shit? There we go. So, right off the bat, what do you guys think?
What a woman.
I don't know if that's sarcasm or not.
I don't think it is in my eyes. I don't think she looks bad.
I don't think she looks like a boy, and some people may think
I
that she
don't
is.
think
She
she
definitely
looks
has
like
curves,
a boy.
especially
I do
on...
not think she looks like a boy at all.
No. Well, Phoenix, you're a male. What do you think?
So I would, debatably, what I would say with this is like, I think it all depends on what the actual writing looks like in the end. That's all I'm really concerned with. Like this, she is a perfect choice as an actress as far as getting the ego and snark of Lara Croft. Now but that can go the wrong way if this is let's talk down to the man in like it's all dependent on that writing. To me, I think she's actually a good choice for the personality of Lara Croft. Obviously, physically, she does not look like the Lara Croft that everyone knows and loves. I can personally get past that. That does not bother me. So long as the writing and her characterization of it is close to what we fell in love with outside of the boobs with Tomb Raider. That's my personal opinion.
Lady Decade?
I've got really mixed feelings about it. My knee-jerk reaction was, oh my God, like, she looks great. I think she's not quite like Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft, but then Angelina Jolie was a bit more, top heavy.
Voluptuous.
Yeah, so she was more voluptuous and she's got quite naturally big voluptuous lips as well, which was more in line with classic Lara for me. But like they could have done worse. I think.
That's the image I was talking about ages ago. That was it. The one she's in the pool. I don't know if you remember that.
I want to
Blabs.
look like her.
Yeah, I think she's in great shape.
She's fit for sure.
Yeah, she's definitely really, really fit. But this is kind of, to me, that's almost, it's very much that whole like grounded in reality thing that showrunner for the Netflix drama was on about. And I just don't, that's one of the things I'm always a bit like, well, this is all supposed to be fantasy rather than grounded in reality. And that's where I'm a bit nervous of it is this going to be, I'm totally ashamed of myself, Lara, or is this going to be normal British aristocracy? I'm doing this for fun because I've got so much money that I can just go off adventuring, Lara. I just feel like they water down Lara Croft in a way that you wouldn't mess with James Bond like that. They mess with Lara.
I mean, they have messed up with James Bond though. Amazon, especially that last James Bond movie.
God.
He dies.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers! Gets blown up and dies.
But he's not really existed for me since Pierce Brosnan.
That's fair. It's fair though.
So there is ways of making like you can get the best of both worlds, but they definitely don't want to do it. Like, so not a great choice, but you'll see what I'm going with this. Like, you could have had a Gina Carano when she wasn't really heavy. There's someone who's very curvy, but clearly could take care of herself. Like, literally can fight actual men, and it would be believable. But it seems to be clear, at least with this version of Hollywood, that they want to keep going for taking out the sex appeal of the character in this case, and it's really just about the realism and the strength in this case of the woman. So there are plenty of choices out there that you could have had the best of both worlds. This was a clear decision not to. Sophie Turner is not necessarily, I would not put as a sex symbol of any sort, and Lara Croft was supposed to be also a sex symbol, in the same way that James Bond is a sex symbol.
I don't really understand how modern Hollywood kind of sees having aspects of being a sex symbol as a woman not being empowering. I don't really understand that very much, because in terms of femininity, that used to be very important. I don't understand why that would want to be, why you would want to remove that and be so far removed that and say, yeah, I'm really showing those men. No, you're really showing yourself how much like you're I feel like they're psychologically damaging or diminishing themselves because they're taking away an important aspect of what could be seen as being a woman.
But it's almost like Hollywood seems to actually view powerful women as you can't be a powerful woman and feminine. They just want to remove the femininity out of things. And then they want to replace that femininity with masculinity. Well, then you might as well just have a powerful man. Like, why can't women just be allowed to be women and powerful? Like, you don't have to be some kind of flipping masculine girl boss Mary Sue type thing. Like, again, if people would just go back to letting Lara be British aristocracy Lara with money to burn and time to burn, who goes adventuring for the sake of it. If the writing goes down that route, rather than making her apologetic about her past and, oh God, I can't believe I went to that temple in that foreign country and I took this thing and I better give it back to the people. Stop with all of that. Just let us have our fantasy escapes again, please. But yeah, going back to Sophie Turner, I don't think she's like bad casting. I'm just, at this point, we've been burned. Like, how many times do we need to be burned? Like, we shouldn't be sitting there being apprehensive about a program coming on Lara. And if it's being produced by Amazon, and Amazon Games are also producing that new version of Lara, which is like going back to sexy cat-like, slender, athletic gymnast Lara, like the show, well, maybe the show will be good. But again, it's one of those situations where I'm very much a believer in assume it'll be shit, because you'll either be justified. Yeah, you'll either be pleasantly surprised when it turns out to be okay, or you'll be like, told you so. You can't have a bad outcome that way.
So I've actually gone through the internet and pulled some responses just to see what people are saying. And it seems kind of mixed. So this one's actually from Yellow Flash. And he says, she looks good. Sadly, I have zero interest in watching anything by Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
It's from her, right?
Yes.
Well,
that's why
there's
a lot
your
of people
answer.
are like, no. I hope it's good, though, for the fans. So that's one. Something is missing, says Valiant Renegade, and that is, I'm assuming he's saying boobs. The next one is what Lady Decade was saying. No one will ever top AJ because she actually has all the curves, plus they kind of made her boobs look like the 90s box.
She has shit legs, though. Shit legs. They're like little toothpicks, so a big no for me. I never liked her as Lara.
Then they also say can't be this, not gonna lie, and that's obviously the OG. They also said better than what I was expecting, and they have Alan Rickman. And then Anna, that Star Wars girl, says first, Lara isn't a ginger. Second, she's not an A cup. This looks like cosplay.
I was thinking that, okay, so that was my exact feeling when I saw her as Lara Croft. I saw the image and it looked like a really good cosplay, like that you would see at like Comic-Con or something, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. If she plays the character appropriately, I don't think she could be bad in the show or whatever. But that was my first instinct when I saw it as well. I said, this looks like cosplay, not bad cosplay. It just looks like cosplay.
Mm-hmm. And then the next one, which is very similar to what Pickle's saying, looks like a nice cosplay for sure. It makes me wonder why they didn't just rehire Alicia. It might have gotten a better performance too, because Alicia is an incredible actress. And it seems to be the case that most people would have preferred that. However, some are also saying name a better downgrade.
Yeah, no. Sophie's way better choice, in my opinion. I thought Alicia was terrible.
So I've actually not seen Alicia's version. I've seen the Angelina Jolie movies, and I thought she was fine. And again, I've never played the original video games, but I understand, the gist of it and everything. Mm-hmm. What was so wrong about Alicia?
I think one, she's hideous. B,
Damn.
I thought, absolutely hideous creation. And
really? Have you not seen her in like A Man from uncle. She actually looks beautiful there.
Cool. So she's hideous, and then on top of that, I thought the movie itself was terrible. That she's actually a great actress. She's in some of my favorite films.
But you still think she's hideous?
As Lara Croft, she exuded none of the confidence of Lara.
Croft. Okay.
Yeah. In specific to that role, I thought she did terrible. Where Angelina Jolie nailed the ego of Lara perfectly, and I can see that same energy coming from Sophie Turner. So I actually think Sophie, again, given the right script, actually might surprise people on how good her version is. It just depends on how much they lean into girl boss or not. If they stay away from girl boss, you might actually have a decent show here.
When I was little, I didn't realise that Angelina Jolie wasn't English. I learned that she wasn't English after, because that was the first time I'd ever seen her. No.
Was you like, my wife's a lie? There is one more thing I want to show for Angelina Jolie, or I should say Lara Croft, and that is, did you guys see this? Exclusive for the first time HQ still of Sofia Vergara from the 2003 Monster Chase Visa commercial, where she appears as Lara Croft. And so Anna, that Star Wars girl, says that's more like it's sad when commercials are more respectful to the source material than big Hollywood productions. And here are images from the 2003 commercial.
Yeah, look how good she looks.
Yeah. Pretty good, I think.
I would have liked to have seen a young Catherine Zeta-Jones be Lara Croft as well.
Yeah. Why don't they just do it like in some anime or something, or animated form? Not Netflix, though.
Well, I think, don't they already have a Tomb Raider
the Netflix
animated?
one. That's what I'm saying, like, not that one, though.
I'm going to say something that no one will agree on this with me. But back in the day when they were casting for the original Tomb Raider that Angelina Jolie was in, do you know who I actually thought would I think have been a great Lara Croft? Her acting is terrible, unfortunately. Is actually Posh Spice. Her face looks polygonal. Like she actually looks like the model to me. I know that's crazy. No one has ever agreed with me on that.
Victoria Beckham?
Yeah, I actually think her face looks like the original character.
I'd put you over my knee for that.
What'd you say?
I'd put you over my knee for that.
Damn,
yeah. No one has ever agreed. But to me, that looks like the actual model.
She looks angry, dude.
I don't know
Have
about
you seen
that
Lara
one.
Croft from the 90s?
No, with all the Spice Girls, you had to pick the worst one.
Well, I can't put Ginger there.
She'd have the right attitude at least.
That's true. Yeah, no, terrible actress. Terrible actress.
Jesus. Whatever, man.
Well, no one's ever agreed with me on that. I'll Photoshop it and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, next.
Anyway, any other final thoughts before I get to some supers on Lara Croft?
Okay. I think there was some potential for good, maybe something good, and then you said what's her name was working on it. It's like, well, that's doomed. Yeah, that's doomed.
Didn't she work on James Bond?
I believe so. She was also in the Indiana Jones thing, which I heard was terrible.
That might have been what it was then, yeah. Hi, Pickle.
Hi, Jedi.
Let me get... Actually, I'll let Phoenix read this one. There you go. You may read that
one. From Bozzy19407. None of those artists care about automation removing others' jobs. They are angry that new tools can outperform them. Look at Leaf's new MV and tell me it isn't art and took no creativity. I have an answer to that, but we'll move on to the next one.
Sly for 10. I got this now. Thank you. I just need you to vamp for me. So what you're saying in context to AI is that you want a merit-based system where someone who works hard and performs well succeeds, not a person who got success through artificial means. And let me tap one of the bigger ones. Vox for 20 says, AI art feels like people who make 3D printed slop and pass it off as handcrafted items at fairs and cons. It's empty and hollow. Astronaut for 10 says, God damn it, I feel so stupid for not asking Leaflet to have a convo about AI with you, Phoenix. I feel like she had a good understanding of the art aspect to AI. Same to Pickle and Lady D. And you guys are very, very kind with your supers today, but we'll get up to the rest of them afterwards. We'll do this one first. Hyena for $9.99 says, always do your own research, especially since AI doesn't have all access to all potential sources of information. Not all books and documents have been scanned and uploaded to the internet. Well, speaking of research and everything, Lady Decade, what the hell is Mothership?
So, as we know, over the last 12 months or so, there's been a few layoffs over the game journalist industry, hasn't there? So
Just a few.
yeah, so bear with me one moment, because I made myself, as you know, I've made myself a bullet point list because I don't like getting stuff wrong with my terrible recall. So, and if this is a bit messy, please forgive me.
I do have the YouTube video to play, the 1 minute video. We can play that first. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have this board the Mothership.
Maybe you've been playing games forever. Maybe you played games as a kid until you learned it was a boy thing. Maybe you started playing games recently and you wish you hadn't missed out for so long. Or maybe you simply feel turned off by the homogenous image of gamers as the macho guys targeted by gaming ads. So we're making a website and a community. It's called Mothership, and it's for all of you. It's for her, it's for them, and yes, even for him. We'll tell you what you should play, introduce you to the folks who make games you love, and help you understand what it all means. We do hope you'll consider supporting us so we can produce stories about the state of labor, gender, equity, and culture in gaming, while also building an online community where we all feel comfortable. Finding adult friends is hard enough. Finding the right gaming group, even harder. Worry no longer, because you just found it. Mothership.blog. Come on board.
Gay mean group.
So, just from the research that I've been doing, sorry, I need my glasses now.
Okay. You don't have to apologize for that. How dare you?
So from my research as well in that video where I've been looking up and going through all of the web pages associated with this, I believe that 2 of the ladies in that video are the names I'm going to be giving here, I think. I'm not sure. And I have a feeling that the man who was in that video is actually the boyfriend of one of them as well.
Oh, no.
And I did see in one of the interviews that they did with one of the other publications that they said that this is a website for the girls, the gays, and the theys. I was like, okay. So here's my notes. So
here's the thing. I have a couple of things that you sent up ready to be pulled up. So let me know if you need anything pulled up. Like I've got the Kotaku article. I have the Mothership blog pulled up. I even have some Blue Sky stuff for you too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just let me know if you need anything pulled up.
Yeah, thanks for that, because I don't have a Blue Sky account, so it's always really limited what I can see on there.
Found stuff.
Okay. Right. So I wrote down Mothership is a newly announced subscription-based games media site positioning itself as a corrective to the so-called traditional gamer culture, with coverage framed primarily around gender, identity, labour politics, and community signalling. So all the favourite things. It's being formed by former Polygon editors Maddie Myers and Zoe Hanna. So these are figures closely tied to the activist era model of games journalism that dominated the 2010s and steadily lost audience trust and readership. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to write this down. But I also found all of this on LinkedIn as well. And they had people like Alyssa McCanty in the comments saw it.
Oh no!
Like picking it up. And I was like, oh God. Hang on, let me just make this a bit bigger. Sorry, even with my glasses on, this too far away. Okay, so essentially the staff and leadership positions in an era which alienated the average player and further eroded confidence in the gaming news websites. So the people running this have massively contributed over the last 10 years of that real disconnect between us and gaming news sites. So rather than trying to win back the broad gaming audience that has moved on, Mothership openly embraces being niche, framing a small, ideologically aligned readership as the primary audience they will be targeting rather than the mass public. So basically they're targeting who Hollywood refer to as the modern audience, as in the people. Like, if you think about it, like the sort of people that are going to sign up to this website. Imagine the cast of Dustborn and Concord, but as real people with wallets.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So yeah, if you're the sort of person that had Dustborn as Game of the Year for yourself, then that's going to be your go-to website. So the site is being marketed as bold and radical, yet structurally, it's the safest move imaginable for these journalists, because it's got a subscription paywall that's going to filter out any disagreement and replace any kind of persuasion with pre-selection. Because if you want to go on there and they write a comment they don't like, they can just delete it.
Oh, that's totally free speech.
Yeah. And then what makes this particularly poignant is the timing. So Mothership is launching after the collapse of audience trust, partially caused by the identity-driven games journalism, amongst other things. Obviously, there's other things. Who's that lady? Following years of layoffs, sales and traffic decline across legacy games media. Obviously, we all know that gamers haven't disengaged from game discourse. They've simply rerouted around the people that they no longer trust. Rather than sticking with all of these people that have just spat in our faces all this time, they're gravitating towards independent creators that they can put a face to, rather than these soulless brands. Then Mothership doesn't meaningfully acknowledge this shift. Instead, it's continuing to repeat the same mistakes from the past, which can plainly be seen from that trailer, where they frame gamers as macho, hostile caricatures rather than real people. Like, not everyone flipping playing a game is like the macho man Randy Savage, are they? Like, oh yeah, playing the games. Fuck everyone else.
They really went for the whole DEI stuff with all these chicks too.
Well, I think that's them.
Yikes.
That's them, and that's their boyfriend.
Yikes.
The language around the project leans very heavily on belonging, safety, and not fitting in. Like, if you go on their actual website and read the write-up for it, it's very much positioning the subscription not just as an access to content, but access to social comfort and cultural validation. Like, if you join their subscription, you get to join their Discord as well.
Yikes.
That'd be a barrel of laughs.
It would be. I just want to point out that on this, they actually have an LLC for this. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, this is something else. I think I wrote this in my notes. So they even say in the trailer that you'll be able to make friends with like-minded individuals. Not only are they saying that paying for their website might mean that you can make some friends, and they're also selling the warm and fuzzy feeling that comes from supporting journalism in an increasingly hostile time. And I copied and pasted that straight from the website subscription page, which is, I hope in one of the links. If not, if you just go to their main page and then click on the subscribe button in the top right corner, then you'll see it on their tiers. So it's very similar to Patreon. So yeah, that's...
Let me just make sure I can post this up. Yeah, I can. Okay, here we go. So what Lady Decca is talking about is right here. The warm and fuzzy feeling that comes only from supporting journalism in an increasingly hostile time.
Yeah. Well, so sorry.
What? I said, well spotted.
This reframes engagement as an emotional transaction. That right there. So basically they're saying, pay us $100 a year or $300 a year or the $50 a year.
You see these new titles though? Mother's Little
it's
Helper,
a little strange.
Mommy Dearest, and Fairy Godmothership?
Yeah. No, honestly.
I mean, is it supposed to be like a direct reference to like
Shrek?
Cinderella or Shrek or something? Like what?
Yeah, I think what they're saying is basically pay the fee, enter the space, and be reassured that you are one of the good ones. But here's the Kotaku article. I've just made my notes about that. So I wrote here, Ethan Gatch of Kotaku. Like, Ethan Gatch is one of those people that writes really annoying articles. Calls this bold and radical, but it's just the same worldview, the same assumptions, and the same contempt for the existing audience, just shrunk down and placed behind a paywall. But then you go on Kotaku and you've got Ethan Gatch is obviously highlighting it for his buddies, for his like-minded friends, and then this whole article here is literally just blowing smoke up its arse, and again being like, it shouldn't be such a radical thing to do. But yeah, it's going to be 11 more days, and this is being launched formally. But yeah, I've put, because there's lots of articles have sprung up on this. Oh, look, see, here you go. That's something else I wanted to say. They've said that one of the inspirations for this website is Teen Vogue, except Teen Vogue was completely gutted and absorbed back into the main Vogue magazine back in November, off the top of my head. So Teen Vogue, they're basing this, and Teen Vogue doesn't exist anymore.
Well, that's
Ludicrous,
awkward, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh God. Right. Okay. Hang on. Sorry, let me just redigest my notes here. The wider media landscape has already shown what adaptation looks like. Independent and personality-based creators who don't build their channels around the fact that they're gay, black, or a woman, they just happen to be gamers with those characteristics. Mothership says that identity has everything to do with gaming. And personally, I call bullshit on that because I'm mixed race. And I find the idea that my skin colour, my gender, or my sexuality should sit at the centre of my identity. Like, that's deeply insulting. I don't want the world to just base me, like, literally make decisions about me based purely on things I can't control about myself. Because it implies that my perspective, my values, and my interests are predetermined by traits that I did not choose. And according to these people, I should live my life as a part of their other group. Because in all technicalities, like, that's for me because I'm a woman and I'm not white and I'm othered in within the gaming scape. So apparently that's for me. I should be into all of that. No thanks. Yeah. So rather than my experience shouldn't be that. It should be shaped by my thoughts, my experiences, my own agency. And I'm not a demographic box or a political prop. And I refuse to pretend that gaming or journalism should revolve around treating people based on uncontrollable characteristics. So yeah,
Hello,
that was.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I literally crawled out of bed because this is so fucking insane. I had to talk about this shit for just a second.
You sound terrible.
I love talking orb Craig. Look at that. Like the little red circle.
Yeah,
It's all knowing.
Listen, this is the most fucking dumb thing I've ever heard. And I am going to go register bigdickgaming.blog just to counteract this.
I already have that,
fucking...
Craig.
Oh, fuck. But let me just say this. One of the most... And I'm so sorry I can't be on today's show. I feel so fucking horrible. But let me just say this. Lady Decade, you have uncovered you talking about this gave me so much energy to crawl out of bed just to read at the internet, because this is one of those things where like they'll be gone in 6 months. They'll be gone.
You refueled his spite reserves is what happened.
Yeah, thank you, Pickle. Thank you. You know what I'm saying. But I honestly feel that, you know what the craziest thing about this is, because I was looking through the run sheet before, is if you go to the comments of Kotaku and you look, Blabs, will you pull that up really quick if you don't mind? The actual article.
Oh, from Kotaku?
Yeah. The Glaze Fest that was. Go to the top really quick. Click the comments. That's right. They don't go anywhere because they removed them. The discourse around this is so good that they removed all the comments. These people are fucking insane. And Lady Decade, I am so glad that you brought this to our attention, because this is going to give us so much content over the next 6 months or a year. And I appreciate that greatly. All right, I'm going to go throw up. You guys have a good day.
Please check your Twitter DMs. Thank you.
Feel better.
I will. Pickle. Good luck tonight. Make sure you mount Blabs. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Get better soon. Oh, bless him. He sounds like shit to me.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have any more to go about that, Lady Decade?
No, luckily I actually got to the end of my notes. Sorry, they're a bit jumbled. Sorry.
No, don't worry about it. Pickle, you've been quiet about this, but what are your thoughts?
I don't like it.
Well done.
I would like to subscribe to Big Dick Gaming.
Please join that instead. Use your money.
I just think it's all like actually ridiculous. I mean, I'm of the mindset that I don't care what people identify as, or like personally, I don't care. Just don't shove your rhetoric down my throat, and I'll respect you if you respect me. I'm gonna live in my own little box and what I feel comfortable with living as. You can do the same, but you know, don't be preachy about it. It's just very strange to me. It's very, very strange to me.
I put a video up about this last night, where I spoke a bit more deeply about it, because I think overall, I don't think it's going to be like that much of a problem. It's not like some kind of someone with the reach of, say, IGN or another huge publication. This is something that's a niche within a niche. So I don't think it's going to be like something that's going to be much of a problem. I just find it audacious that they're still banging on about this narrative that identity has everything to do with gaming, when that has been so rejected by gamers. And the fact that it's never that they're wrong or that they've got the wrong perspective. It's that they are so deeply entrenched within their own activism that they are much quicker to say, oh, the audience is hostile. Oh, it's the corporation's fault. It's never themselves. They'll never look at themselves and be like, perhaps I'm the common denominator here. Maybe I'm the problem. And then when you take a look on like their LinkedIn posts and other posts that they've mailed elsewhere, these are people that are regularly going to therapy, which in itself isn't a problem. Like, good you're going to therapy. But it's also a signifier that these are people that have got some incredible issues. If they have, like one of them wrote on a blog that they've got some really bad problems with imposter syndrome. Well, why do you think you feel like that when this is what you're peddling and you're being completely rejected by the gaming mass public? Well, of course you're going to feel like an imposter. I'm not saying that they are imposters, but they've become incredibly one-dimensional in the way that they're receiving information and then feeding it back. And then I also found it ridiculous in one of their LinkedIn posts where they was writing something like, oh, if you've got any game keys that you can give to us to review. And I'm thinking, do you know what? In this modern environment, when BlackRock and Vanguard, etc., have really, really dialed back hugely the amount of times that they've mentioned ESG money and DEI descriptors in all of their corporate documents that they've sent out to everyone that they invest in. They've really dialed that back. Do these people really think that they're going to start getting corporate? Like, it's interesting that you noticed earlier that they're LLC. So that means that they're obviously sitting there with their hand out waiting for corporate donations, as well as like they're dressing it up as, oh yeah, we're going to be fan funded. But no, if they're an LLC, they're looking for corporate handouts. Except Stonewall, which is, I don't know, I think Stonewall's just British. They're a lobbying group. And Stonewall lobbies Parliament and European Parliament for money for LGBTQIA charities. For what? For what? They're just asking for money for what? And I just literally, I could go on about this. A lot of stuff I don't think I should say on the internet. I have to like, I write paragraphs in my script sometimes, and then I'm like, no, I really shouldn't take that out.
A good point, Blabs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's not do that again.
Yeah.
But is there any last minute words before I hit up supers? Because we got quite a bit to get to for supers. Good? Everyone good?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm good.
All right, let me get that. Okie dokies. Dan, Eva Robot says, I never thought I'd be hearing Craig get out of bed and he's obviously being sick. But yeah, I agree. That sounds fucking stupid. Thank you very much. Bentley Guy for 10 says, feel better, Elliot Page. Sent with love. # Montez. Now, I actually do have quite a bit of supers. So if Lady Decade and Pickle, if you guys need to bounce, feel free. I mean, obviously plug yourselves if you need to go. Otherwise, there's 30 super chats to hit up. Are you guys good to go to stay? Or
I'm fine.
Okay,
I'm
let's go
anywhere to
through it.
be.
All right, West for One says the devouring mother is a psychological archetype originating in Carl Jung's analytical psychology. God, what a bunch of words. Representing the shadow side of the nurturing mother figure. It describes a mother who, under the guise of love and protection, exerts excessive control, emotional manipulation, overprotection, ultimately stifling a child's independence and development. Drop Barracuda for 5. What one does or don't put in their body has literally nothing to do with playing the game, and if you're forcing me to acknowledge that, you're the arsehole.
Arsehole.
Yeah. I was trying to think if he was trying to say threshold, but he, no, he didn't separate them. I don't know what this currency is, but thank you. We're cooked. Gemini, ChatGPT, and even Grok all say men can't get pregnant if you ask for a yes or no answer.
That's going to be a bit of a problem then, isn't it, when you're giving birth?
Yes. Where's it going to come out if it's a guy?
Well, it'll explode, won't it?
Young Store for 2 says, last I checked, I'm 5'5", 150 pounds. Macho man, no. Bentley Guys gifted 2 Rumble Premium memberships. Thank you very much. This one just came in. I'm all in with this website existing. Let's put their ideas to the ultimate test and let the modern audience they have supposedly cultivated put their money where their mouth is. It's going to be hilarious. Phoenix is not only a grumpy man, he's also blind.
This is correct.
Hippie Treehugger for 500 kicks. So as a tool for efficiency, then yes, but it has to be used responsibly. That's for AI. C. Blum says, I used AI to generate 3D models of prototype from Shot Show and generated a G code off those models. If China can steal tech, so can I. Thank you. Eleni says, for research, I use AI the same I used Wiki in high school. Find sources and verify info because like Wiki, AI lies too. It's also useful for troubleshooting and brainstorming ideas. Yes, I used to do a lot for Wiki. You would go to the very bottom, find all the links and resources, and verify that way.
Yeah.
God, that takes me back. Anyway, Crowder fan for 2 says, I don't mind tipping, but I hate when a place demands a set amount for a tip that's really high, or if I have to stand at a counter to order my food. I tip based on quality of the service and food. Mercenary says, oh yeah, StreamYard sent me the Jimmy Kimmel shirt in extra small instead of extra large. Can I get help? Well, we're not StreamYards or the merch store, so please contact them to help get you situated and sorted out. Because we can't help you. We have nothing to do with the order. Thunderstiller for 5 says, my family owns a woodworking company, so when I was a kid, my dad drew up plans for a treehouse, got the materials, and had me build most of it.
That's pretty badass.
That's pretty cool, though. You got a treehouse.
My son would love that.
Yeah. They already have to do this in real time. Military has stuff that makes this AI impersonation stuff look like something out of an 80s Apple II computer. Vampire Slayer says, Skynet is coming for us all. Run from AI. JK, Leaflet's video is a decent direction for where AI can be useful. However, corporations want to use it to downsize employees, which isn't good. Someone going to have to make an AI to identify AI. AI is premature and companies are using too soon. I'm enjoying this 50% Italian side-scrollers. That's right. Grazie tanto. Make encyclopedias great again. Okay. Jay Thomas says, bad far outweighs the good. The Second Story channel on YouTube posted an excellent video how it destroys a person's creativity. It will destroy everything and we will become people in WALL-E. Fat and sad. I use AI ChatGPT as references to help me in my art. AI is truly Pandora's box. It's so much worse than people know. Ace Liberty, what's the difference between AI arts that's original and traditional art that steals someone's IP to sell prints? You guys are great. Keep being awesome. Thank you. Hero says, what about electronic artists who don't play instruments but make beats with synths or apps? Would they be declared not real artists by these people?
I have an answer for that, but we'll move on.
That's right. Darian for $4.99 says the real problem with the AI is that it aggregates the style of real artists, so it's undetectable theft. Artists aren't special. Make something quality or get lost in the slop, just like modern Hollywood. Make something with lasting relevance or put the fries in the bag. Phoenix, right? You're not truly hosting side scrolls unless you say, which is great, 40 times in a show. This is true. And along the way.
Which is great.
Which is great. Jay Quilly says, you still have to have some talent or skill in whatever area you're using AI for. Amateurs and retards will create slop regardless of how good AI is.
Art isn't about talent. Next.
Oh, wow. Feisty. Mercenary says, I, for one, welcome our new AI overlords and their inevitable ability to breed with us and have children with humans. I am sure nothing can go wrong with this. No, sir. Everything is fine. Thank you for that. James says, AI is a tool, and like all tools, it's meant to be used. Automation was resisted too. It takes jobs. It does, but that's progress. Eleni on Lara, she's not curvy enough. Sorry. Silo full of Cool Ranch Doritos says, from the AI art topic, maybe promoters at conventions should have been on top of these instead of worrying about the has-been celebrities. Grok, give Sophie Turner. Never mind. And then Odin says, so tired of the androgynous crap that so much of Hollywood is casting. Lara Croft is both built, thick, and curvy. And with that, we're all caught up. Now, here's the thing, guys. I cannot read any direct donations if there are any. I will make sure Craig gets to them tomorrow. But before we go, what are we doing later today, Phoenix?
So today at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are playing Mount Your Friends with Kirsha, Leaflet, Pickle, and our very own Blabs. It's going to be an enormous amount of fun. It'll be on Rumble Premium and Side Scrollers Plus.
Yeah, use promo code MOUNT, MOUNT. Pickle, where can the people find you? Hey.
I stream on Twitch and Kick, both at Pickle VT. I don't do much. I just talk a lot. So don't, if you like listening to women ramble, then that's the place to go.
Okay, and Lady Decade, where can they find you? By the way, both their links are down below. Where can the people find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/@LadyDecade. And I make video essays about culture-y stuff.
All right.
And I believe you had said that you made a video about this very topic that you were talking about too, right? That's up now?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's my
Go
most
check
recent
that out.
upload.
Yes, it's on her channel. All right, guys, and that's going to do it with us for today. Don't forget to tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern for Mount Your Friends. Until then, Salty Cracker's on the show tomorrow, and possibly a Stuttering Craig. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe he'll be there. I don't know. But until then, guys, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got to go get it. We'll see you tomorrow. Fatality!